We launched our Regression series way back in January. Many a celebrity has revealed their innermost secrets accidentally. They've relived their fantasies, and in the case of John Scott, they've laughed until they cried when they were taken back, of course, to their past life. Now here's a reminder of a few of them.
Darren Day, Cherie Murphy and H from Steps are just some of the celebrities who've been regressed this series. And it was a bundle of laughs for our John Scott.
He's got a camel.
Whilst Paul Ross encountered his nasty side.
I killed a man.
Major Charles Ingram found an explanation for his fear of heights in this life.
I do remember falling.
Where did you fall from?
I think I fell from an aeroplane.
And Darren Day discovered he'd fought in the First World War as a soldier.
1917.
Do you know what your family name is? What was your family's surname?
Wallace.
Wallace. What was your first name?
My name's Adam.
We later were informed that in fact a Corporal Adam Nicholson Wallace of the 7th Battalion Seaforth Highlanders did die in April 1917. But there have been some inconsistencies. Emma Forbes, for example, was a Parisian entertainer in her past life, but her date and age just don't seem to add up.
I think I'm in my 20s.
What year is it?
1932.
How old are you on the last day?
I think I'm 85.
So, if she died at 85 and was in her 20s in 1932, that would mean she died sometime in the 1990s. But how could this be? Emma Forbes herself was born in 1965. And it's not just celebrities. Viewers have been taken back to their past lives to try and overcome their problems in this life. Irene Bearfield suffers from stomach pains and discovered that in her past life she had fallen off a cliff and cut her stomach badly. Gillian Cox-Woolven journeyed back to the past life of an 18-year-old boy who took a flight in a plane.
Whoosh, taking off. Whoosh.
And you're in the airplane.
Oh, it's steep, it's steep, it's steep, it's steep. Wow, it's amazing.
The year was 1905, but the first ever plane was only invented in 1904. Did Gillian really fly in one of the first ever aeroplanes?
Well, Andrea Foulkes joins us now with Irene Bearfield, Lisa White, Geraldine Flagg and Cheryl Forrester. And Andrea's going to clear up some of the discrepancies. You have paranormal explanations for all of these things, so we're going to come to that. Now, Cheryl, you, when you came to see us, were suffering terrible feelings of anxiety all the time.
Yes.
Finding yourself apologising for yourself and for things you hadn't done.
Oh yeah, all the time. Simple things, passing a cup of tea, having, you know, anything at all. Ridiculous.
So real lack of confidence.
Very big lack of confidence. I wouldn't go out anywhere on my own, really, you know, so yeah.
So when you spoke to Andrea, you said to her, these are the areas I want to clear up.
Yes.
Okay. And the life that you went back to was quite interesting. You were a young girl looking after your sister.
Yes, and basically she drowned and my family had blamed me for the drowning because I couldn't save her. So this was the overwhelming guilt that I'd felt for all these years. So that's probably why I've been apologising, and it stopped.
And she's not now.
I'm not now.
You said you don't feel anxious anymore,
No,
you don't
not
feel
at all.
guilty?
No, not at all, I don't feel anxious.
And do you feel that it was a real life or something that just was psychological and it's helped you anyway?
No, I generally believe it did happen, but it has helped. It obviously has, because now I can go out, I go swimming with my son, I go everywhere, you know, and I couldn't have done that before. And I don't feel guilty at all.
You said it took a couple of hours, so,
It's incredible, isn't it?
I do apologise, I've done something wrong now.
Yes, you're allowed to do that.
But I'm not saying it all the time, you know, so yeah, I feel 10 times better.
And Irene, I mean, you came to see us because you had severe stomach pains since you became pregnant with your daughter 23 years ago.
That's right.
And how bad did they get?
Really bad. I mean, I was... it used to start in the morning and the pain got so bad. By the time I got to bed, I was being sick, vomiting, I mean, crawling around the floor with the pain. It was just incredible. No doctor could do anything for me.
Couldn't find a reason for
No.
You were
not at all.
regressed back to a time on a cliff with your family.
That's right,
Got
yeah.
near to the edge of the cliff, but fell.
Yeah.
And your father pulled you back.
Yeah, I sort of scraped all my stomach. It was really bad, and that sort of the pain was incredible. You know, this is in a past life.
And how often would you have had your stomach pains prior to the regression?
Probably about once every 2 months.
And how often since your regression?
I haven't. I've had one where I thought, oh God, I've got this pain, it's going to happen. Nothing. Just didn't progress into anything after that. It just went
Andrea
away.
smiling like a Cheshire cat. See, it works.
The thing was with Irene, though, she always had this fear of dying as well, which I think a lot of us have, you know. But Irene, since then, because she also was very lucky, she went to see a future life, which she didn't go through the door, though, did you?
No, that's
but
right.
she just hasn't got a fear of dying now, which is very important, I think, for us all to gain from that experience. Anyway,
That this
though.
isn't the full stop.
Yeah.
Well, now Lisa, sitting behind you. Hello, Lisa. Now, the problem you had in this life with these terrible, crippling panic attacks, it even forced you to give up your work.
Yeah, meetings, I wouldn't concentrate on what I was actually meant to be concentrating on. It would be like, I've got to get out of here, I'm going to black out. It was horrible.
So you wouldn't be able to sit in a studio like this, for instance?
No.
So the life you went back to took you to a terrible place. So you were locked in a room and somebody set fire to the building.
Yeah, I don't really remember too much about it, but yeah, there was definitely heat
she had
and not being able
problems
to
with the
breathe.
breathing then, you know, the fear of the room, but also, if you remember when we saw Lisa's regression a few weeks ago, it was also connected to a time in this lifetime of being born and the birthing process in this lifetime. So I took her back to the birthing process in this lifetime and changed, you know, the experience of that, so it was a much calmer thing, because she was very frightened to be born, and also the shock of appearing in the world was a bit shocking for her.
And now?
Well, it's been amazing. Train journeys are they were completely no way. Now I've been going to visit my boyfriend's family without even thinking about having an hour and a half on the train. Up and down in lifts, not a problem. The only thing is I've got to get on a plane yet, and as soon as I've got on a plane and I do that
But
without...
you've booked a plane ticket for August?
Yes, I'm going home for my mother's birthday,
Well
and I'm
done.
really looking forward to it.
Well done,
And
Lisa.
Geraldine came to us with severe claustrophobia since a child, scared of small places, never going to a lift. In regression, you were buried alive because the villagers thought you were a witch.
Yes.
And since that regression,
Yep.
how has your claustrophobia been?
A lot better. I can go in the lift now. No problem. I don't say I'd go in on my own, but I'm quite happy to go in with other people. I'm fine.
And she's saying she's sleeping 100% better now, aren't you, calm? Because there were other lives as well that we did show as well.
Yeah, I'm sleeping fine, and I'm still going in the water, which I wouldn't have done.
So for you, a worthwhile experience, all of
Definitely.
you, a worthwhile experience.
Definitely. Definitely.
And what about these, Andrea, these moments where there were times when dates didn't add up, when people seemed to have got confused with where they were and what they were?
Yeah, and we get confused in this lifetime. If you ask me what I did last week and what date it was and what time it was, we will get confused. And also in regression, often when you're pressing people to say how old they are, often they'll say how old they sense themselves to be, which might be a different age to what they see. You can only usually say that's definitely accurate if they've seen documented evidence, like with Fern. She was able to look at her birth certificate in the past life, and then when we checked it, it really added up. And you can also tell with some clients, because the depth they go to, with like Emma Foulkes' regression, she wasn't that deep into it as some people are, but she had like a collective unconscious, which adds on to some other aspect that some people consider about regression, which is she then later told me that the past life she saw was linked to an ancestor that she didn't know anything about in this lifetime, but they'd lived a similar life. And sometimes there is a theory that you can tap into a collective unconscious linked to your DNA of past ancestors, but that's a whole new area that scientists are looking at as well.
Well, it's been a fascinating series, Andrea. Thank you very much indeed. And ladies, continued health and recovery. And thank you very much indeed for taking part. And thank you.
Thank you.
Very much indeed. It's been fabulous. Still to come, the original Lady Penelope, Sylvia Anderson, is here. So we're back in a moment. Don't go away.